Iranian regime is officially collapsing from the inside out, and their most loyal soldiers are leading the charge. In a shocking, unprecedented admission on state television, a top IRGC commander just confessed that tens of thousands of the regime's elite, highly paid guards are secretly plotting to defect and join the protest. To make matters worse, even their billion-dollar proxy Hezbollah has just announced that they will not defend Tehran from an impending U.S. strike. This mass betrayal proves that the Ayatollah is rapidly losing control of his own empire. It all started with something an IRGC commander said himself. Listen to this carefully.
In all units, including our brothers in the Ministry of Intelligence, our dear brothers in the intelligence organization of Faraja, and the intelligence organization of the IRGC, we contacted a significant number of individuals who were in the process of defection and issued warnings. We told them that they are going in the wrong direction and gave them warnings. Some of them, whose violations were more serious, so we invited them to talk. We invited a significant number of individuals. So our officers told them, face to face, that they are making a mistake. They were told that they are taking actions that will ultimately backfire on them. Some individuals had even worse violations, so they were summoned. These individuals were spoken to, advised, and guided. Some of them, whose violations were more serious and who insisted on continuing on that path, were arrested. These all happened between the 12-day war and the recent sedition, the Lion and Sun Revolution. Only in the IRGC, there were a number of these interesting cases. 2,735 individuals were invited, summoned, and guided against their wrongdoing. 13,000 individuals were served warnings through SMS and text messages. We discovered a significant number of unauthorized weapons. We discovered more than 1,000 to 2,000 of these weapons. And about 50 individuals were arrested who were working directly with the Mossad. Also, some people were arrested who were under the impression that the regime is on the verge of collapse. These people were planning for the future and had a number of meetings. They were all arrested before the sedition days.
This is a top IRGC official on Iranian state media admitting that tens of thousands of IRGC members were under suspicion for sympathizing with protesters. He goes even further, saying that there are people in other organizations who share the same views. This is insane. The IRGC is admitting that their own ranks are compromised. Let me explain why this is such a big deal. In Iran, simply supporting the protest makes you an enemy of God. That's the ultimate penalty. No trial, no defense, straight to death row. And yet, despite knowing this, tens of thousands of IRGC members were still considering defection. That tells you how far the rot has spread. And here's what makes this even more significant. The IRGC isn't a normal military. It stands for Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, not Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. Their job isn't to protect Iran. Their job is to protect the Islamic Republic and the revolution. This means their members are higher paid. They have higher status and better benefits than ordinary Iranians, even if those other Iranians work for the government. That means they are supposed to be loyal to the end. And the regime just admitted itself that tens of thousands of them might not be. But the cracks aren't just showing inside Iran. They are spreading to Iranian proxies too. A Hezbollah member just told a French publication something remarkable. Hezbollah will not respond militarily to U.S. action against Iran as long as the U.S. doesn't assassinate the supreme leader. This is the perfect irony. Iran has spent billions of dollars building Hezbollah, billions. And now Hezbollah is saying bomb whatever you want. Just don't kill Khamenei. Iranian infrastructure, fine. Iranian military, fine. Iranian political elite, that's fine too. Just don't touch the top guy. This is not an alliance. This is a transaction. And Hezbollah just made it clear exactly how little they are willing to sacrifice. The regime's most powerful proxy will not defend the regime. That's a signal no one inside Iran wanted to hear. And this is the backdrop for the negotiations that are happening today. Both sides have put their position forward, and the gap is enormous. Here's what Iran is offering. Limit enrichment to 3.67%. Stop further enrichment towards weapons grade for 7 years, and keep their existing 60% enriched uranium. They will not be moving this out, but they are willing to reduce it maybe by half. That's the offer. Compare this to the U.S. demands. U.S. wants Iran to destroy all 3 nuclear sites like Natanz and Isfahan, hand over all the enriched uranium, and they want no sunset clause, meaning the restrictions on Iran will not expire after 7 years. They also want zero enrichment capability inside Iran. Iran can keep the reactors, but it must import fuel. On top of that, they want to remove minimal sanctions from Iran up front and remove more as the conditions are met. These demands are exactly why many are predicting war. Iran wants to keep enrichment capability. US says no enrichment at all. Iran wants all sanctions lifted immediately. US wants to lift them gradually. Iran wants a 7-year deal. US wants no expiration. These positions aren't close. And here's why the US will not budge on enrichment. Iran keeps saying that they never wanted nuclear weapons. The supreme leader supposedly banned them. It's just peaceful energy that they want. But that story is falling apart, and an Iranian official just accidentally admitted it in front of the whole world. Now, before I show you guys this clip, I do have one request. If you guys can just take a second and hit the subscribe button down below, it really does help us out in the algorithm. And now, let's look at the Iranian official who accidentally just spilled Iran's secret. When we first entered nuclear activities, our real goal was to build a bomb. No point denying it. You mean the goal really was to make a bomb? Yes, 100%. The whole system, everyone who started this, the real goal was to build a bomb. Once we had started and we wanted to go all the way. If we could keep it secret and test the bomb, it would be over. Just like Pakistan, once we began, we had to finish it. What you're saying, we've never heard such things officially before. Won't what you're saying affect the negotiations? No one pays attention to what I say. Foreigners will eventually find out. Anyway, it is important to point out that this is the deputy speaker of the Iranian parliament, not some random TV personality. And he's admitting on Iranian TV that Iran was trying to build nuclear weapons just years ago. This is while Iran is telling the world that, hey, we never wanted nuclear weapons at all. Their own officials are accidentally admitting what Iran is hiding. And there's another problem with Iran's story. The 60% enriched uranium that Iran has. As I have been saying all this time, you don't need 60% for energy. You need 3%, maybe even 5%. The only reason to enrich to 60% is because it makes getting to 90% weapons grade much easier. Here we have Secretary of State Marco Rubio making this exact point to the American public. Take a listen. Well, let me put it to you this way. If in fact what you're interested in is a peaceful nuclear program, you can do it like most of the countries in the world do it, which is they have above-ground reactors and they import the fuel. We have deals now to do that with countries. If what they really wanted was energy, they could do small modular reactors, which is something that's quite affordable and achievable for a lot of countries. But when you say we want to enrich and we want to enrich deep underground, and you have a history in the past of enriching to 20 and even 60% plus, you're building missiles that could potentially carry warheads. That doesn't sound to me like someone who's a country that's not interested in building weapons. So it's not just the rhetorical, it's the actions that back the rhetoric. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but the reason US doesn't want Iran to have enrichment capabilities is because it's very easy to enrich uranium for nuclear energy and then take it to nuclear weapons energy. They are basically the same process. You have to spin the centrifuges, right? And for energy, you spin it until the uranium reaches 3% purity. For a bomb, you just spin it until you reach 90%. It takes longer, but the process is identical. That means if Iran has centrifuges, they can just make weapons-grade uranium whenever they want. They just have to keep them spinning. This is why the US won't allow any enrichment. Iran just cannot be trusted. And this isn't unprecedented. Many European countries like Finland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and many more don't enrich their own uranium. They import it and use it for their nuclear power plants. Iran could do the same thing, but they won't. And the only explanation they have is that they want energy independence while also claiming they will never make nuclear weapons. We are just supposed to trust their pinky promise. They don't want nuclear weapons. They just want the ability to make them anytime they want. See the problem? And it seems Iran knows these negotiations are probably going to fail, because while diplomats are talking, the military is practicing. The IRGC has built mock-ups of US bases in the Iranian desert, and they are firing missiles at them as practice. On top of that, they are broadcasting these drills on Iranian television. That means they're not being very subtle about it. The message is clear. If you strike us, we'll hit your bases. Here's Marco Rubio explaining why this is probably not a smart idea. Take a listen. I think tomorrow Steve and Jared will be there. I think they're on their way there now, actually. And the president was very clear last night that he always prefers diplomacy. But I want you and everyone should know that Iran poses a very grave threat to the United States, and has for a very long time. They are in possession first and foremost after their nuclear program was obliterated. They were told not to try to restart it, and here they are. You can see them always trying to rebuild elements of it. They're not enriching right now, but they're trying to get to the point where they ultimately can. The other thing I would point you to, however, is that Iran possesses a very large number of ballistic missiles, particularly short-range ballistic missiles that threaten the United States and our bases in the region and our partners in the region and all of our bases in the UAE, in Qatar, in Bahrain. And they also possess naval assets that threaten shipping and try to threaten the U.S. Navy. So, I want everybody to understand that beyond just a nuclear program, they possess these conventional weapons that are solely designed to attack America and attack Americans if they so choose to do so. On top of this, it seems Iran is ramping up their oil sales as much as possible. Why would they do this? Well, it seems they're expecting US to start striking very soon, and they know whenever that happens, the oil sales will just go to the gutters. And that's why they're trying to export as much oil as possible and stack up as much cash as they can. But this is actually hurting Russia indirectly because to export a lot more than what they usually export, Iran is offering big discounts to the only buyer they have. That's China. Well, China is the only buyer Russia has now too. And now both countries who are supposed to be allies are basically undercutting each other to get that Chinese money. Now we just wait as to what happens after the negotiations. They're ongoing as I recorded, so be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll update you guys as soon as we have more news. My name is Sam. I'll see you in the next.